It's time to talk about one of the worst things popularized by TikTok, which is why I hate the app. We're going to be talking about female icks. For those of you who don't know what this death sentence of a word ick means, not to be confused with turn-offs, it's an oddly specific thing that a guy does, which instantly induces a feeling of disgust in a woman that makes her lose complete romantic and sexual interest in a guy. Turn-offs, on the other hand, are general things like emotional weakness or being too needy. Icks are extremely specific. Here's a few examples.
So dumb right now.
What's your biggest ick in a guy? Do you want me to tell you mine? So when they're running for the bus, like what are you doing? Just walk or get the next one. Right, what's your biggest ick?
Okay, so might be a bit rogue, but when a boy gets hit by like a slow moving car.
Now this video is honestly jokes, but if you want to see a more educational breakdown of female turnoffs and things to avoid, I have a video on that you can check out. And before any black pillars comment, none of this matters, bro. If you're Chad, Chad can't give her the ick, go and deep throat Chad somewhere else, okay? This video is fun, just relax and enjoy the fucking content. Some of you may be thinking, who asked for this video? Absolutely no one, but I was laying in bed one day and just remembered how stupid the concept of icks really are. I was getting pissed off just thinking about it. Cause like imagine being the perfect boyfriend, you know, you got your finances in order, you're in shape, you're charismatic, but then you accidentally sit the wrong way or cross your legs together and she gets the fucking ick. Obviously reality doesn't work that way. I mean, sometimes it does depending on how crazy the chick is, but I asked some of the lovely ladies that I know in real life to send me a list of their icks, so I have a pretty good sample size of women here, and I'm basically going to be ranking everything they sent me from very reasonable all the way up to she's insane and run away as fast as you can. As always, if you want to see more content like this, subscribe and let's get into the tier list. So the first thing we have here is making a joke and no one laughs. You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of that one time Keemstar went to Aiden Ross's house and no one was messing with him. He just looked like a fucking weirdo. But roll the clip.
FaceTime, yeah.
Yep.
Like,
Oh,
and then,
shit,
so now
what
he's
the
fucking
fuck?
famous somehow, and I'm famous.
Yo, you're in trouble.
Why? Oh shit.
That crypto shit. Hey, Steve, get his ass from right now.
Why am I still getting hate?
Yeah, okay, if you end up like fucking Keemstar at Aiden Ross's house, I'm not gonna lie to you, she has a right to be icked out by that, right? You never want to come off as this cringe guy who no one else in the group's fucking with. You're like this weird guy cracking jokes, no one's laughing at your jokes, and you're just like, you stand out like a sore thumb. You never want to look like that. So if you make a joke and absolutely no one laughs, listen, I've been in that situation before. I'm not the funniest guy in the world. I actually have to think about my jokes. So sometimes I've said a joke and nobody laughed, but this is what I do to always recover. I'm just like, oh, so anyways, yeah, let's talk about this other topic. So I always change the topic, always deviate it to make it seem like I didn't make a joke in the first place. It usually works. So if you make a joke and no one laughs, let's see. Is it kind of reasonable? You know, I would say it's kind of reasonable. I'll let it slide. If she really likes you, she shouldn't be turned off by you making a joke and no one laughing, but you know, fucking women. Also, if you're wondering why women seem to have this long list of icks but men don't, it's because we're normal. Alright, next up we have doing yoga. You guys would be shocked at how many girls have said a guy doing yoga gives them the ick. I don't know why they think that. I like yoga. I think it's cool. Maybe it looks feminine to them or something. I don't think this is reasonable, bro. I don't think this is reasonable. Not every guy does yoga, so she'll find a guy eventually, but come on, bro. Like, what is wrong with yoga? Yes, it looks a little feminine, you know, I'm stretching myself out a little bit, pause. But I mean, the health benefits and the spiritual benefits of yoga are great. So, you know, if you're with a girl and she's turned off by yoga, just make sure you scan the room, look around, make sure she's not there before you start getting on the mat and doing the exercises. Next up, we have losing a street fight. Now, look, this depends, okay? If you initiated a street fight with another guy, like you're the instigator, you're fucking drunk at a bar or something and you're like, yo bro, you want to fight, and you start squaring up and then you get knocked out, this is very reasonable. She's a healthy woman because you initiated the fight, she's there, and then you got slumped in front of her. I'm sorry, but I can't defend you here. I cannot defend you. But, you know, if you got jumped by a bunch of dudes and then she gets the ick because she saw you get beat up by a bunch of guys, she's not really a high quality woman. I'd probably put this at, you know, completely stupid because there's nothing you could have done. You literally got jumped. But let's just assume you initiated the street fight and you lost. Very, very reasonable. She's a healthy woman. Come on, guys. Don't start fights you can't win. Don't start fights at all, period. Next up, we have losing a pro fight. This is completely stupid. Does she think professional fighting is some sort of fucking game? You know what? There's actually a clip from this one girl. I think she's a fighter too. She went on the Joe Rogan podcast and she was trash talking her ex or her boyfriend because he lost a fight. I'm gonna roll the clip.
He has a great boyfriend, but we went out of country. We fought on the same card. He fought the day before me. I fought the next day. During the fight, he almost gets knocked out. As this guy is mauling him, he goes like this. What do you think I was thinking?
Not good thoughts.
The boyfriend.
That your
My
boyfriend was-
like this.
Yeah, you didn't like it.
Fuck no.
But this is just completely unreasonable. You're both mixed martial artists. You're both training to beat each other up. Losing a pro fight is possible. It's not in the realm of like, oh, you're weak or anything. It's literally something that you're going in knowing is possible. So the fact that a girl would get turned off by that is so stupid. I hope she stays single for life. Next up, we have tripping over and falling. This one's personal to me, man, because one time, you know, a couple years ago, I was on a date with a girl and I was walking and the ground just wasn't even, you know. There were like fucking small obstacles in front of me and I just tripped, bro. My toe hit a rock and I tripped and I fell, dude. You know, I was a little bit too excited maybe. And, you know, I thought that nothing happened because she was like, hey, are you okay? Like, she helped me up. And then we kept walking. The rest of the day was normal. I never heard from her again. So apparently tripping over and falling is a huge ick for some of these chicks. Am I gonna say it's not I'm gonna say it's not reasonable, bro? Come on, like, but I mean, if you're a guy, just try not to trip over. It's not hard to not trip over, but it's pretty unreasonable. How are you gonna not give me a chance just because I fell, bro? Come on. Next up, jumping on a trampoline. What's wrong with jumping on a trampoline, man? Like what's wrong with this? Seriously, what is wrong with this? Why would this possibly ick them out? I guess if you're jumping around flailing your arms or something, maybe I could see why that would ick them out, but like, can't a man just use a trampoline? Like, the fuck? This is not reasonable, but not every guy likes trampolines, right? So she's probably gonna find a guy. Also, a quick side note, one thing you guys are gonna notice about a lot of these icks, not all of them, like bad hygiene is an exception, for example, but you're gonna notice that most of the icks from this list, I would say about 85%, stem from a lack of masculinity, right? Because women are attracted to masculinity in men. So when you do things that are feminine, or when you do things that are corny and lame and not cool and masculine and dark triady, it actually turns them off. So these specific icks can be extrapolated to a broader claim, which is that a lack of masculinity in general gives women the ick. But it really depends on the woman. Not every woman's going to be turned off by the same things. It's all about what they perceive to be a lack of masculinity, right? So two women, you could do the same thing, completely give one the ick and not the other. Masculinity is subjective in their eyes. Okay, next up we have frolicking. Apparently looking happy and being at peace and doing whatever I want gives them the ick. Why can't I frolic, bro? This is ridiculous. Like, you're telling me that when I'm feeling happy and energetic, I have to contain myself and be like, nah, dude, I'm just gonna be cool, you know? Just to fucking appease to this girl. Dude, I don't frolic, but if you're a frolicking kind of guy, frolic with pride. Next, we have tying your shoelaces. What the fuck is this? Like, you tie your shoelaces too. Why does me bending over and tying my shoelaces turn you off? By that logic, if a man proposes to you, that should also turn you off because he's getting on his knees and bending down the same way he would if he was tying his shoes. So girls who get turned off by this, you're insane. I don't like any of you. Next up, we have bad hygiene. Very reasonable. Come on, guys. Very, like, you can't get mad at a chick for getting an ick because you don't fucking brush your teeth or you don't floss or some shit. Fucking food debris in between your teeth. You don't cut your nails are long. Like, okay, I get it, you know, I get it. Everybody wants a clean person, very healthy woman. Let's move on. Talking in a baby voice. Again, the reason this gives them the ick, it's a lack of masculinity. She's not your fucking dog for you to be talking to her in this like baby voice. A lot of guys who have girlfriends long term, they'll be in bed cuddling, laying down, and then he'll pull out the baby voice. I'm not saying every girl gets icked out by this, you know, some girls like it. Look, I'm gonna put this at reasonable, man, honestly, it's pretty reasonable. Like, it's not that hard to maintain your masculinity and just talk how you normally would. Next up, we have existing. Some of you may be thinking, what the fuck, why would existing be on this list? Yeah, for some guys, all they really have to do is exist, and apparently a girl will be turned off by them. Like, have you guys ever hung out with female friends, or like a girlfriend or a girl you're on a date with? This has happened to me so many times. I'm out with a girl, and then she'll be like, the guy behind you is so creepy, or the guy behind you is weird, or the guy behind you is disgusting. I'm like, what? What did he do? This guy's literally just existing. He's like, I don't know, he just gives me weird vibes. Like, I'm like, bro, what the fuck did this guy do to you? He didn't do anything. I always defend the guy. Some of you simps would be like, yeah, he's weird. Let's move somewhere else. No, I always defend the guy. I'm like, what the fuck? You're the fucking problem. Why are you just looking at random guys? So yeah, unfortunately, the truth is, if you're unattractive and you just have that weird look and weird vibe about you, and even if you're minding your own business in public, women are going to be repelled by you. That's just the truth. Unfortunately, a lot of women are like this, so I'll put it at kind of reasonable. Like, Some guys really all they have to do is exist. As brutal as that, I know it sounds brutal. I don't like this. Listen, dude, don't hate the player, hate the game. Next we have crying. I don't want to put this here, but I have to because it's female nature, bro. It's female nature to get turned off by men being emotional and being weak in front of them. Now I know the blue pillars are gonna say, dude, just find a healthy woman, man. Find a healthy relationship, a girl who appreciates your emotional vulnerability. That doesn't exist. Okay, fine, maybe it exists, but there's such unicorns and there's such exceptions. I talk about the rule, I don't talk about exceptions. The percentage of women who don't get turned off at all by a man crying excessively, I'm talking bawling his fucking eyes out, are so statistically insignificant that they're not even worth considering. So look, man, I understand we're men, we're human beings. Everybody cries, everybody has emotions. Cry to your friends, cry to your mother. Your mother is the only woman on earth who's not gonna fucking judge you for crying. Maybe if you have female cousins and siblings or whatever. No Alabama. But if you're gonna cry, either cry to yourself or cry to people who won't judge you for it. A girlfriend most likely is going to get the ick. Don't hate the player, hate the fucking game. I'm speechless. What the fuck does this even mean? So suppose you're walking with a chick and you realize that the path in front of you is only downhill. You have two options. You can either go back and find a different route, or you can walk downhill and risk turning her off. She's insane. Next up, we have loving them. So the reality is a lot of women have daddy issues and trauma, and they will actually get turned off the more you love them and the more you show them that you care. This is obviously not reasonable. You don't want a woman who's like this, although I will admit finding a woman who isn't like this isn't so easy, especially if you live in the West. It's not reasonable, but the reason she's gonna find a guy eventually is because there's always that one cold motherfucker who just does not open up to her, who doesn't show her emotions, who doesn't love her. That's the guy for her. Next we have simping. Very reasonable and it's healthy. The problem is, you know what I hate? Simping turns women off and gives them the ick, but it doesn't turn them off to the degree where they're gonna stop talking to you completely. They will keep you around because what do simps do? They give them emotional investment, they give them time, and they do provide some level of value to the girls. So even though they turn them off and repulse them, they're still gonna keep them around as orbiters and shit. But it is female nature to be turned off by simps, right? I mean, they never let them smash. Next up, we have saying I'm cold. You guys would be surprised, man. You know, you're out with a girl, it's negative 20 degrees, it's fucking freezing. You probably didn't wear enough layers that day, you didn't anticipate it to be as cold as it is, and then you just blurt out the words, I'm cold. And then she leaves you and you never hear from her again. I'm sorry if this has ever happened to you, but yeah, this is completely insane. I guess being cold, it shows femininity, and like, I'm trying to justify these icks, but I genuinely can't. I guess the best thing to do is just, even if you're freezing, keep that shit inside. Do not say that you're cold. Act like you're in a fucking desert. Next up, we have smiling / being happy. So the only reason I'd expect a woman to get an ick from this is maybe because her perception of masculinity is like the strong, stable guy who's fucking serious all the time and can't express positive emotions. Yeah, I don't know about these kinds of women, man. Me personally, I will avoid. Next, we have being rude to waiters. Very reasonable ick. Nobody should be rude to waiters. It doesn't just turn women off. It makes you look bad in front of the people you're around. Just be respectful, guys. It's not that hard. Next, we have too clingy. I don't know why I included this in the list. This is like a turn off. It's not really an ick. So I guess it's reasonable. Next, we have posting thirst traps. Now, here's the thing about posting thirst traps. Women will say it's an ick, but all the real ones know, the ones who post thirst traps, the ones who have good physiques and you post thirst traps, you get chicks doing that as well, right? So it might ick out half the women, but you'll also be compensated for that by attracting another pool of women. So I don't even know where to rank this, to be honest. Let's just put it at kind of reasonable. Fuck it. Next up, we have chapped lips. This is pretty reasonable, guys. It's not that hard to apply lip balm if you have dry lips. Wait, I just realized applying lip balm is another ick. What the fuck? So you're telling me that I ick you out if I have chapped lips and I also ick you out if I apply lip balm? What the fuck do you want me to do then? But I guess applying lip balm, if you do it in a zesty way, it looks like a chick applying her lipstick. So you know, if you gotta apply lip balm and you got a chick with you, go to the bathroom and do it, or do the classic tilt your head away, make sure she's not looking, apply that shit real quick, and then back in your pocket. Next, you have has allergies. What do you want the guys who have this to do? Not have allergies? Like, what the fuck? Next, we have texting formally. Yeah, I can see how this is an ick. Why are you trying so hard? I said this in the last video. You don't want to be texting chicks with punctuation and fucking semicolons. Just relax, bro. It's a girl. It's not your college professor. Next, having Snapchat streaks. Yeah, we're not fucking 12. The only exception to this is if you're like in middle school or something, you can get away with having snap streaks, even high school, I guess, but Come on, bro. Like, we're fucking grown-ups here. Next, we have following OnlyFans chicks on IG. Listen, dude, I don't understand guys who do this because you're exposing yourself. All these chicks have public accounts, okay? If you want to see them and you're weird like that, just go on their accounts, bro. You don't have to follow them and let the whole world know that you do. So this is an easy one to avoid, and I see why it turns women off. Women don't like it when men are looking at girls who are better looking than them, let's be real. And it probably shows them that your head's in the wrong place sexually and you're very likely to cheat or some shit. I'll put this at very reasonable. Next, we have plays video games too much. A lot of guys are gonna get pissed off because I know so many people watching this video probably play fucking League for 6 hours a day. I'm not judging, right? I would never judge anybody for playing video games except women, because I put that in red flags for women. It depends on how long you play, right? If you hop on COD for like an hour or two, it's not the end of the world. But if you're spending fucking 8 hours on League or something, you know, I could see how that would turn them off. I'll put it at kinda reasonable. Next, we have yelling in a high-pitched voice. Bro, this reminds me of that one time I watched a horror movie with a group of guys, and then some girls pulled up, and for some reason, every time a scary scene came on, there was this one guy who would just yell at the top of his lungs, but his voice was so high-pitched and feminine. I'm not even gay, and I got turned off. Next, we have running after the bus. So, you know, you're late to the bus stop, there's 1 minute left, the doors are closing, and you need to run to make it. But you're with your girlfriend. What do? Do you run, or do you act nonchalant and just take the next bus even though you know you're gonna be late? Yeah, this is not reasonable, though I will say, if you're gonna run after the bus, make sure you fucking make it inside the bus. Because if you don't, you're gonna be making eye contact with her on the way back. It's just not a good look. Getting into a car accident. This one's personal to me as well. I'm not the best driver in the world. I've had my incidents on the road. But I would say this one depends, right? You know, if you're getting into car accidents and it's your fault and you're driving like a dumbass, it's a reasonable ick. But you know, if it's not your fault and she gets icked out, it's unreasonable. So let's just compromise here and say it's kind of reasonable. Next, you have uses emojis in an argument on text. Bro, come on. Next up, we have self-proclaimed entrepreneur. You're just unemployed. Like, I see how this turns women off because, like, all you have to do is put entrepreneur on your Instagram bio and congratulations, you're officially an entrepreneur. These guys haven't made a single dollar with an online business, but because they say they're an entrepreneur and because they have a name and everything, yeah, I'm a business owner, I'm an entrepreneur. Yeah, this is very reasonable. If you're actually an entrepreneur, you don't call yourself an entrepreneur. You say, I'm in this industry for this business. That's what the real entrepreneurs say. But if you just say, yeah, dude, I'm an entrepreneur. Next, we have talks through the whole movie. Why are so many of these personal to me? Dude, I can't shut up in a movie. Anyone who knows me, I always talk during the entire movie. I think girls who I've watched movies with hate me for it. I cannot stay silent. I always need to talk. Probably one of my worst qualities, but you know, it's kind of reasonable, dude. If you're watching a movie and she's into the movie, just chill, relax, shut up. But I actually think it's good riz if you guys are watching a movie and like you're both facing the screen and you lean in and you make jokes to her ears and she starts laughing and shit, like you're making fun of the characters. I think if you pull it off correctly, it's not an ick, it's actually good. But if you're just yapping the whole time like I am now, yeah. Next, we have loud eater, very reasonable. Next, we have get Starbucks coffee. I see why this gives them an ick, because it's usually a fucking Becky or a Stacy who goes to Starbucks and gets their regular coffee. So if you're a dude doing it, it's kind of feminine. Real men drink Turkish coffee or black coffee from other places. So, you know, if you're a guy ordering your iced latte with a triple espresso shot or whatever the fuck, in my opinion, it's kind of feminine. Do whatever you want. I'll put it at not reasonable because it's a stupid thing to get turned off by, like most of the other things on this list. Next, mewing in public. Like, these guys are on looks maxing mode 24/7. They can't chill. They always need to make sure the angles are right. They're always fucking hyper extending their jawline. It's cringe, dude. If you're fucking always trying to look sexy and thinking there's fucking cameras pointed at you 24/7, in my opinion, it's cringe. And I can see why it turns women off, because it's like, dude, just relax, take a deep breath, be yourself. What the fuck is this mewing shit? Next, we have acting sexy. This is a specific one where basically a chick will notice that you're trying a little too hard to act sexy. Like, it's not really you. This is why, guys, by the way, like on a side note, I never act or try to seduce women. It's just not my personality. In my opinion, it's cringe when dudes are on Riz mode. Like, have you guys ever watched those videos where like they get a girl and then a bunch of guys get on a Discord call and compete to like get to the next level and take her out on a date? And it's just a bunch of guys trying like pickup lines and Riz. In my opinion, it's just so cringe. Like, I feel like the girl should be the one trying to seduce you. You shouldn't really be trying to Riz her up or trying to act sexy and sexual. I know some guys are naturally like that and that's their style, but me personally, I just like to chill, be myself, be casual. And then if the girl's interested, in my experience, things just start to happen. So guys who act sexy, I feel like it's just cringe. I'm gonna put this at kind of reasonable. Next, we have telling her you decide. Yeah, as a man, you should always make the decisions. You should always be a leader. They don't even know what they fucking want, so leaving them to make the decisions is so stupid. Women get turned off when you leave the decision making to them because they want to trust you as the authoritative masculine role, and when you hand that over to them, they just feel unsafe. So I'll put it at very reasonable. Next, begging her to stay. You should absolutely never beg a woman for anything under any circumstances. You don't need her, you need God. Next, we have being a conservative. She's insane, run away. If a woman gets turned off by your political opinions or your beliefs on traditionalism and shit, she's fucking insane. Take the exit. Some guys think that, oh, if you're alpha enough, she'll change her beliefs for you. No, she won't, bro. If she's a diehard liberal Kamala kind of chick, forget about her ever dating a conservative. Women attach to their political identities like fucking super glue, okay? They're not just going to abandon it for a guy. And in fact, I've seen so many cases where women will leave their boyfriends because of political disagreements. Like, some of these crazy chicks take politics seriously. So if you see that she's one of those girls, she's insane, run the fuck away. Next, we have picking up the ball during beer pong. So like, you guys are playing beer pong and then the ping pong ball falls on the ground or it starts rolling away and you start chasing it trying to pick it up. Apparently this turns a lot of women off. So what I recommend doing is whenever this happens to you, just wait for another guy to pick it up. But honestly, I have no idea why this turns them off. I think it has to do with like being submissive and bending over. I don't know, dude. I'm as confused as you. So I'm gonna put this at completely stupid.